The first principal of Harlan County High School and an Appalachian artist, has died. Howard made an impact on generations of students and teachers through leading in different ways. He started as an art teacher at Everett's High School before becoming the last principal there and the first principal at Harlan County High School in 2008. Former Everett's principal Wallace Napier says Howard never met a stranger.
His strongest trait, he was very good with the students and the community. His PR skills were great, and he just kept a lid on everything and made sure everything was headed in the right direction.
Howard died suddenly yesterday at 70 years old. We'll have much more on his legacy coming up tonight at 6. The Housing Development Alliance's summer internship is now open for applications. Any high school graduate or upcoming graduate from Breathitt, Knott, Leslie, or Perry counties between the ages of 18 to 20 years old are eligible to apply. The internship is a paid 8-week-long summer program. HDA Director of Development and Communications Mindy Miller says it's a great opportunity for students to develop new skills. Hundreds of people gathered in downtown London for the National Day of Prayer. Corbin Parkway Ministries Pastor Mark Heisel says this is a part of their week-long services of visiting various locations throughout the region. He says that prayers like these are essential.
Troubles in the world, we live in a troubled world, and certainly the last few years with pandemic and unrest and upheaval on all kinds of levels, I think that prayer and that spiritual identity is essential.
A group of missionaries from South Korea joined the prayer service. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from them.
Picture perfect out there today, weather-wise at least. Plenty of blue skies, just a few fair weather clouds, and milder air starting to finally work back into the picture. Here's the view from our studios here in Hazard. 66 comfortable degrees, the current temperature here, and yes, plenty of sunshine. We'll do the same, though a few degrees cooler there at UVA-wise. The temperature coming in at 59. Most of us climbing into the middle and upper 60s this afternoon. Yeah, I like the look of this, and we've got even warmer weather on the way a little bit later on in the week, heading into the weekend as well. Notice those clouds outside of the fair weather cumulus clouds staying at bay, but if you look really closely, bottom left corner of the picture, you might start to see some of those high clouds moving in. We'll see those increase a little bit later on tonight, but we stay dry as we look at your forecast through the next 12 hours. Falling into the 40s tonight, not nearly as cool as we watch clouds increase. Steve, I'll have the latest on when we see perhaps a return to some showers in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. Democrats are ratcheting up calls for Supreme Court ethics reform as the controversy around Justice Clarence Thomas grows. ProPublica reports a GOP megadonor paid thousands of dollars in boarding school tuition for Thomas's grandnephew, Mark Martin, of whom Thomas had legal custody. ProPublica cites a court filing showing the megadonor, Harlan Crow, wired $6,200 to Hidden Lakes Academy in Georgia in 2009. Their reporting suggests Crow might have also paid for Martin to attend his alma mater, Randolph-Macon Academy in Virginia. Legally, Thomas is required to report gifts, and some Democrats want an investigation. Republican Judiciary Committee member Senator John Cornyn says Congress should leave ethics up to the High Court. A jury has found 4 members of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, guilty of seditious conspiracy. This is the 3rd time prosecutors have secured convictions for that charge against those who breached the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Defendants Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Real, Enrique Tarrio, and Dominic Petzola faced a range of charges for their roles in the insurrection. Petzola was the only one the jury could not reach a verdict on the seditious conspiracy charge. The Senate Budget Committee held a hearing today to discuss the Republican proposed Limit, Save, and Grow Act and the approaching deadline for defaulting on America's debt. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse chairs the committee and says that the bill that was passed in the House will cause economic harm to the country. He calls the Republicans' actions, quote, hostage-taking and extremism.
Democrats haven't threatened default unless Congress also passes gun control legislation or climate legislation, even though those are desperately needed policies with broad popular support. Why not? Because crashing the global economy, if we don't get what we want, isn't policymaking. It's hostage-taking and it's extremism.
Senator Whitehouse also showcased his own suggestion for a bill to suspend the debt ceiling, which he said is only 31 words. The Kremlin says Russian President Vladimir Putin has remained calm despite an alleged attack on his office. A Kremlin spokesman says Putin intended to work from the Kremlin today and that the building was operating as normal. The Kremlin spokesman went on to say the Russian president would not change the goals of his country's so-called special military operation in Ukraine. Also, he would not address the nation or hold an urgent meeting of the Security Council in light of the alleged attack. There is a nationwide shortage on veterinarians, and it's impacting nonprofits like animal shelters. The American Animal Hospital Association's numbers indicate as many as 18,000 vet jobs will go unfilled within the next 8 years.
We could handle a lot more capacity now if we had more technicians. And so, they keep talking about a veterinarian shortage. I have to think to some degree there's a support staff shortage that underpins that.
The Veterinarian Association staff say vet jobs are expected to grow 20% by the year 2031.